Hello, this is Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio, Expressionist Fluid Art Studio, and that's a marble right in the middle of my canvas puddle of white Sherwin Wilaims paint because my camera wouldn't focus without it. Now I'm going to try and get it out without making a mess. Yay. I have bunches of leftover paint. I've spread a little dribble around the edge and spread it out with a spatula, and I've got paints left from a few days ago that I'm willing to sacrifice the glop. I have no idea what the colors are. I can see there's some Quinacridone magenta in there, and I've got colors left over from today that are fresh, and we will do whatever's necessary. Might even take a Princeton Artil Catalyst spatula and remove some of that and use it, because the colors are still seemingly pretty. I just don't want any big lumps. And paint will flow to paint, and we're going to do a bloom. We're going to do a swipe, scoop, drag, and whatever. I'm going to turn that over and let it drain, and hopefully I'll remember it. Now I've got a OXO omelet turning flip and fold spatula. I want to do a little something. I want to take some of this Midas, which is a primary element, and then I'm going to take, I know that there's Mayan Gold and Rapsody Rose. Mayan Gold is a Prizm pour, Rapsody Rose is a primary element. I did a dipstick stripe painting. There's some Saffron, which is a Prizm pour. There's some Golden Maple, which is a primary element. There's some True Silver right there. I can't waste those beautiful colors. And I know there's some Chantilly lace in there also. Now I might add a few more colors. I'm feeling like adding some Midnight Shadow, to tell you the truth. And the odder the design, the more likely I am to get something cool. That's just my feeling. And I'm going to throw these things. Actually, the pan with the Glad press and seal I'm not going to worry too much about. I do have a palette knife. I am thinking about adding a little bit of black, although sometimes I regret that feeling. I still want some blue. Be open for me now, please. You were open a little while ago. There, I can hear air. Come on. I got it. Just because I can. That's the name of my first book. I haven't said that for a while. Next to my second book called Unlimited Possibilities. They're both on the Amazon link on the link tree. Alright, let's find that Midnight Shadow and see how I feel about it. I know that yellow color is the Quinacridone Nickel Azo Gold too. That's Midnight Shadow. I don't want a whole lot of that. I do want some of the, I was thinking about the Blue Velvet, which may make green. I'm loving my colors. What have I got? I've got Agave Blue. I was definitely contemplating Cerulean Blue, and I might do that in a second. I'm not making any sense with my marks. I'm not trying to make any sense with my marks. I'm just going with the flow. Boy, I don't know if I've ever said that before. Maybe I have. Well, the Cerulean Blue is really not functioning. It's not open. So the next best thing that I absolutely adore is the Royal Sapphire. And I'm kind of liking my composition right like it is. I don't want to do anything to it. I'm going to use a little bit of the Vivid Intense Quinacridone Nickel Azo Gold. Because I can, and I need to know. Okay, so now it's time to pull out the Aussie Floetrol and Amsterdam Black, Amsterdam White, and I think I'm going to use, I was going to use the turquoise, but I think I'm going to use the Pearlescent Violet Boom Gel. You don't need this, but it's kind of nice, and it does work on top of Cell Activator. I'll let that spread around a little bit. The white, I can never seem to get the viscosity of the white heavy enough. Maybe I can encapsulate it with the purple. Oh boy, here we go. I love those stripes. Let's just drag those stripes right around. There's no point in saving any paint because everything's going to spin off. Well, that's pretty cool. I have to say, I might want to picture that. Take my tweezers out. Now I've got palette knives or palette knives. There we go. These are my two favorite to scoop and drag. They're round tip. And I've got a couple others that I've been using. Also, if I'm in the mood, I'm going to use either this diagonal front or this larger palette knife. Them right there where you can see them. Some of them are on my link. Now I think I'm going to start with, how am I going to do this? There's a scoop, pull up so you can release it. I love that little thing in the middle. It's pretty weird, but I love it. I like those red cells. Pull up. Try and notice which direction is working best to keep the cells from breaking up. I'm not having much luck with that yet, but I'm loving the colors in this so much I don't really care about anything right now. I am trying to make note of the composition. If I have too many weird, large, angular spaces in the middle, I'm not happy lately. You can scrape down to canvas as long as you come back over and are willing to fill it in again. It does work well. You will not keep most of what's around the edge, unfortunately. Oh, those are some gorgeous cells. I'm stealing some of those. It looks like I'm sold on just using the one palette knife, at least for the moment. And you can dig right in if you're careful. I do believe, and I profess to think, that the more crossovers the better. But the slower you pull those patterns out, the more likely you are to keep some of them. if I pull something straight into the middle and I don't change it, it stays straight. And sometimes it's an odd pattern, at least it has been for me recently. And you can change that if you don't want to use the scoop and drag method. You can change that by just using your skewer. Because if you put some nice little spirals in, that's a gorgeous batch of cells. Spirals work out well, I think. I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen. So I think it's time to use a skewer and make some, even no matter how small the spiral is, it's going to turn into a larger spiral. That's just the nature of the beast. Got to be careful not to lift like I just did without being careful, because you will drag a little paint tail, and that in my mind does not always bode well for the ultimate design of the ultimate design. So I'm ready. I may not be actually ready, but I'm pretty ready. It's been a few days. I'm thoroughly addicted to doing scoop and drags. I don't mind admitting that. I'm going to throw my tools in the bucket. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to throw that in the bucket too. It's time to change my paint water in a big way. I've got my barrier. I'm seeing something I need to fix right there, because I know that that is going to turn into a really big white spot. So that reminds me that there is nothing to keep you from tipping to spread your paint a little bit before you ever start to spin. Just want to tip it far enough so I can come back again. This might be the only time I'm slow at tipping. I really like to keep some of this over here. Those cells are sort of magnificent. Looks like I lost a lot of cells in the center. Makes me want to go back in before I go on. Spread a few cells out. Where else? I just want to steal some. Put them right there. Okay, that was different. Let's scrape that palette knife off. Cross your fingers, hope for the best. It's time to spin. Grab my marble. Spin both directions, you get a more even dispersal of the paint. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it so far. Looks like we got quite a bit of white. I can't wait to see what that looks like. That's pretty cool. That's definitely cool. I have to keep spinning, whether I like it or not. Because I know the paint, if you leave the paint heavy, you're bound to have some cracking you don't want. Let's go back the other way one more time. So, what should I tell you guys? I appreciate all your kind words and your comments. You keep my morale boosted. And if you're looking to help the studio survive and you'd like to use the PayPal icon, it's on the bottom right hand corner of my YouTube channel banner. This is like a fantasy scape. Wow, I'm going to turn that in the direction that I'm seeing it because it's very cool. It looks like some sort of fairyland. That's pretty cool too. Some sort of fairyland landscape. There's a bunch of cool directions. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my cell phone, and I should turn it back the way I said I liked it for you best. I just think that's surreal. That's so cool. I'm so glad I used up my paint, and I'm so glad I spun it out until the edges were all covered, although I do see a spot over there I'm going to have to fill in. But there's really neat cells. Oh, and my battery says it's going to die. Well, I've got a few minutes to tell you what I need to tell you, and I'm going to try and turn out the overhead light so I can shimmer this at you appropriately. There is some shimmer. Oh yeah. What a bunch of cool patterns. Wow. That is so neat. That reminds me of paintings I was doing recently in a different series with some different colors. Tree of Life. I wish I could remember the number to tell you, but if you need the names of playlists, if you like a certain style, just mention that in comments. Or email me at easpb, and the word gallery spelled out, at gmail.com. If you're interested in shopping my art, you can find it at fineartamericapixels.com on the link tree. If you're looking for a coupon code for 20% off for ColourArte, you'll find that under Show More along with the link tree. On the link tree, you'll find Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter links, Facebook group, Expressionist, Fluid Art, Studio, Appreciation, and there's a plus more in there at some point, I can't remember. Anyway, I give lessons at the house in Spring Hill, Florida, and I do sell my artwork. Please give me a thumbs up when you share my videos, you help me out. My paint pouring recipe will be underneath the video under Show More in the description. If you don't find all the descriptions of anything you need, I always answer questions, or at least unless I'm dead, in which case you're out of luck. Otherwise, I'm still alive and here to help you guys. So check my community board for tomorrow's video. I post at 10:15 currently at Eastern Standard Time. Wow, I think I said it all. I probably didn't. My link tree has Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter links. I said that. The Gallerist and Society 6, as well as spring clothing that's shown under the video, all can have all over prints on them. This is going to make a really cool t-shirt design, I think. This is a wow for me. Thank you for joining me. I hope you come again. I love you much. You inspire me often, and I appreciate you being here. So I hope you come back. Bye for now. Priscilla out.